Hi guys, you know that I do not like to be gone ever, so I'm going to try to go through today's notes with you on my screen so that way you can also have it open on your screen doing it with me. We're going to go to slide 14. If you're on slide 14, we're going to learn a couple new words today. The words themselves are not actually the most important, it's what's happening in the words. So when I look at this on slide 14, it says arithmetic sequence. So I want you to look at what's happening. So from 0 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 45, it's getting bigger. And so we have to figure out by how much. It looks like it's just being added by 15 each time to get the next number. So when we describe in words, I would say 15 is being added each time. The next question is, what are the next three numbers? To figure out the next three numbers, you would just add 15 to the next number that ended. So the last number here was 45. 45 plus 15 would be 60. 60 plus 15 is 75. And 75 plus 15 is 90. On slide 15, if we look at it, we're going from 4.5 to 4, then 3.5, and then down to 3. So it looks like it's decreasing or going down. So that would be subtracting by what number each time? Well, it looks like 0.5, so 0.5. I type that in there. Okay, what would the next three numbers be? That's where you would do 3 minus 0.5, which would be 2.5. And then minus 0.5 is 2. Minus another 0.5 is 1.5. On slide 16, it's still a pattern, 1 to 3, 3 to 9, 9 to 27. But if you think about it, if we're trying to add the same thing every time, well, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 2 is not 9. So I have to think, well, let's try something else. Maybe multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. It looks like I may have caught on to something. 9 times 3 is 27. So what's happening each time in this sequence is I'm multiplying by 3. What would the next three numbers be? That's what I want you to figure out. So you would do 27 times 3, and then that number times 3, and then that number times 3. So you will fill in slide 16. On slide 17, we're going to get really fancy with our words. So it says, describe the value of each term as a function of its position. What does that even mean? It means just find the rule. Like find what is happening. We really talked about this at the beginning of yesterday. So we're going to look from the position, the input, or X, to the output, the Y. What is happening each time? So we go from 1 to 3, 2 down to 6, or up to 6, 3 to 9, 4 to 12. So every time we should figure out that I'm multiplying by 3. The way you write that is 3 times n, because n is a value we don't know. And you would describe it by multiply n by 3. So really, it's just a fancy way of figuring out what is happening every time. On slide 18, again, always look for the rule first, and then try to write it out in a fancy way. So 2 to 12, 3 to 18, 4 to 24. If you know your math facts very well, you know that you're multiplying by 6 each time. So I put multiply the input by 6 to get the output. And the way you represent that is 6 times n, because we don't know what that would be. So that's the rule. When it says find the value, it wants you to write what the output would be when n was 10. So I'm going to write the rule here, that's 6n that I talked about. And when n was 10, what would that be? Well, if I multiply by 6 every time, 10 times 6 is going to be 60. If you go to slide 19, it's the same thing as 18. So maybe I should go down to slide 20. On slide 20, it's the same thing. We're looking from 3